Hey everyone, if you clicked on this video, you're here to help learn how to optimize weight loss. Now I broke this video down into 5 separate tips to make it a little easier to follow along, and you're going to want to see them all. I saved the most important tip for the end, so stay tuned to the very end of the video. If you are new here, consider subscribing. I release weekly content on different types of fitness videos, so consider that and let's get right into it. It's no secret that losing weight is a challenging and difficult process for some people, and even for those who lose weight, keeping that weight off is another challenge in itself. So a couple of these tips will actually address those problems, and I hope if you apply these, they're going to benefit you in the long run. So tip number 1, let's get right into it. A huge portion of this is going to revolve around correcting your diet. I'm not going to say that you can't have sugar in your coffee or you can't drink something like apple juice. I'm a firm believer of everything in moderation. Small amounts are okay, but the problem is the extra calories hidden in these drinks. It's easy to overconsume and not even realize it. If I bought a bottle of soda and drank the whole thing, it would roughly be 2.5 servings. This can be deceiving. Sugary drinks are high in calories and provide no feeling of fullness. You could probably even drink until you're sick before you feel full. I think it's important to be more observant of your serving sizes. You can overconsume calories very simply. Studies show that when you eat foods high in fiber, you'll feel more satiated, which is a feeling of fullness. The study I linked in the description even stated in its conclusion, increased dietary fiber intakes promote satiety, decrease hunger, and thus provide a feeling of fullness. So a trick like this can make it much easier to go from meal to meal and not feel like you have to snack throughout the day by having higher fiber contents in those meals. If you do want to try maybe snacking throughout the day, just having more fiber, maybe you'll find yourself eating less when you come to having your bigger meals. Now there are a lot of foods high in fiber. A couple of my favorite are things like broccoli, avocados, and berries. It's definitely worth reading your food labels to see if the foods that you consume are high in fiber or not. As a personal trainer, this is a tip that I've always preached to everyone I've trained. Building muscle has so many additional benefits that aren't really discussed in the context of weight loss. Now, I've had a lot of people that come in and are afraid to lift weights when they're trying to lose weight because they're afraid they're going to get too bulky, too big, and they have a notion that they need to do a lot of cardio to lose weight. Now, cardio is a good method to help lose weight, but I think at the end of the day, I would argue that building muscle is going to be more beneficial in the long run, and I'm going to explain that right now. For a lot of people that start doing resistance training and build muscle, after they complete their weight loss journey, they have a better chance and opportunity of keeping that weight off after they stop dieting or training as hard as they were. And that has to do with the amount of energy needed to sustain muscle mass. Muscle mass has a specific energy requirement, and building more muscle can increase the amount of energy the body uses in a single day. It seems that every pound of muscle, you burn an additional 4.5 to 7 calories a day. It used to be believed that 1 pound of muscle burns roughly 50 calories a day. That notion has been kind of thrown out the window, and I linked a study in the description that gives a little bit more accurate results with the findings I've actually listed here. But let's give an example here. Let's say we add an additional 10 pounds to our frame. If we do the math on this, at 5 calories a day and at 7 calories a day, over a year, we would burn roughly an additional 18,000 to 25,000 calories a day, and that's on the low end and the high end. Now we know that roughly 3,500 calories is equivalent to 1 pound. In this case, we know that the additional 10 pounds of muscle mass on our frame would be using 5 to 7 pounds of energy to sustain that muscle mass a year, which can explain why those who build muscle have better success with weight maintenance. I've seen this with clients of mine in the past. They come into the gym, train with me 2 or 3 times a week, and they don't seem to lose weight. When I talk to them about their diet, they say they've made no changes. Now, this is a big driver behind weight loss, and I'm going to discuss this a little bit more in tip number 5. Now, I mentioned in my first tip about sugary drinks, I think everything in moderation is probably a good method, and typically when people cut things completely out, it's hard to stay adherent to that program or that diet plan or whatever it is you're on. But if you're just starting a weight loss journey and you think you're going to be able to exercise and not correct your diet, I'm sorry, but you're most likely mistaken. You might lose a few pounds at the start, But at the end of the day, correcting your diet is going to be the simplest and most effective way to losing weight. If you guys are enjoying the content, consider subscribing to my channel and clicking the bell notification to stay up to date on each of my weekly videos. Now, tip number 5 here is probably the most important tip you need to know for weight loss, and that is be in a calorie deficit. Diet and exercise can get so overly complicated so quickly. So I like to take an approach, and this is something I teach my own clients, is try to cut out all that excess noise and simplify this. Think about it as a standard math problem. Let's say you go through your day and burn exactly 2,000 calories, and then you eat exactly 2,000 calories. We would expect there to be no change in weight. If on the next day you consume the exact amount of calories, burn the same amount, but instead you decided to mix in some exercise, which burned, say, roughly 500 calories, you would now be in a calorie deficit of 500 for the day. If you did this 3 times a week, you would be just shy of half a pound of weight loss for that week. If you're someone that's been trying to lose weight for a while and you're not adhering to this last tip with calorie deficit, this needs to be addressed first. For everyone that's starting out, this is such an important aspect that you must remain in a calorie deficit to lose weight. I think a good way to look at food isn't as good or bad, but calories equate to energy. And if we're having too much energy, we'll store that as fat. There's more layers to this. Talking to a dietitian or a nutritionist or a trainer, someone that is knowledgeable enough to help you. As a trainer myself, I'm not a nutritionist, so I don't give diet plans or anything. That's important to remember on who you talk to. If you talk to your doctor, they can probably set you in the right direction on who to talk to. I think this concept of simplicity is a great way to start. I think even for people that have been going down their weight loss journey for a while, it's great to get a refresher on some of this, and maybe one of these tips is new to you and you can apply it to your weight loss journey and hopefully it's beneficial. Now, if you guys liked the video, click like and subscribe. I was glad to have you here. Appreciate you watching to the end, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good day.